I just want to start this video by showing my appreciation to Anaconda Malt Liquor, who put up a video promoting this new channel of mine, replacing Bobby Lines, now Bobby Zines. I would also like to point anyone watching this to Anaconda Malt Liquor 16 and 17. I will put a link in the description or at the very least comment section. So thanks Anaconda, and on with my video. I'm sure you've no doubt heard the wonderful news that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are getting married. So you might try and avoid the news as possible. You can never fail about hearing about these frauds, in my opinion. Let's look at the BBC News website. Not something I look at regularly, but see, it's absolutely plastered with this trash. And what is the one thing we know when the news goes over the top, telling us about a particular event? It's generally a load of BS. Now I'm going to give you my reasons why. Well, notice one thing actually. Do any of these websites raise the question, who's going to be paying for this wedding? Surely not the British taxpayer are going to have to foot the bill for another wedding of overprivileged scroungers who contribute nothing to society. Well, with the exception of war. They are huge warmongers, selling weapons, overseeing the sale of weapons to other countries who we can then start war with. Yeah, when you, by the way, side note, when you see horrific stories of war and death, destruction it causes, and you think, well, who would do this? Who would want this to happen? This family, this vile family, are the ones that profit from war. Okay, whether what's reported about it is true or not, these people, look at, for example, Prince Andrew, Special Envoy, the role that he played, and you'll see how these the members of the vile royal family fill their time. I also actually believe the whole thing's a bit of a sham, really. I don't imagine this is a real genuine couple who met and are now getting married. And I'll give you one particular reason for that. Right, we're going to take a look at Meghan Markle. This picture here of Meghan, just under the chin, you see this mark. Now, what is that? Now, it looks to me very similar to what's known as a tracheal shaving scar. Very faint, generally, and can be concealed with makeup, but it's there. Actually, let's go back to the BBC website. Now, what is that huge indentation there, for example? So what am I suggesting? Who has tracheal shaving scars and why do people have them? Well, it's done to hide or reduce your Adam's apple. So is there a possibility Meghan Markle is a male to female transgender? Now, I'm not being bigoted here. People believe they're born into the wrong body. That's not something I personally agree with, but if that's what people wish to believe, then that's up to them. Where I have a problem is when the media, the mainstream media, present these people and try and convince you that they're something they're not. In fact, just taking a look at this picture. By the way, this is the #1 trending video on YouTube. They detail proposal and romance. This is the first post-engagement interview. Now, bear one thing in mind with these people. They do not get in front of a camera unless they know exactly what they're saying. None of these are questions that they won't have already heard and have rehearsed for. But let's see their response when they're asked a question. Right, this bit here, they look at each other for reassurance. How are we going to answer this question? Mate, the answers have already been written down for you. In fact, it looks like Harry's looking down and reading from his script. The whole thing's a sham. Going back to what I was suggesting, male to female, look at this woman's brow ridge and forehead, the way it slopes back. Then look at Harry, by the way. He doesn't have a brow ridge at all, and his forehead goes straight up. In fact, I'm not saying for definite, but it kind of looks like Harry almost looks like he's wearing a theatrical wig, a hairpiece. I don't know, something ain't right about this guy, and something's certainly not right about this woman. Take a look at a few more pictures of her. This one, for example, the width of the shoulders. And in fact, going back to this here is not the shape of a woman. This is a man, okay? Now, perhaps Prince Harry has fallen in love with a transgender, but I personally don't believe it. I think it's a scam, and when they're done with the Harry and Meghan story, Meghan can go back to living a completely different identity, because these people are nothing but puppets and characters. This, I mean, look at the shape of the skull. We've got a difference between male and female skulls, okay? Like I was saying, male skull, female skull. No brow ridge, a pretty straight angle on the forehead. Brow ridge, sloping back forehead. We'll go to this picture of these two. And which one is which? Yeah, the British royal family. Nothing but fakes, deceivers, and frauds. Okay, well, your comments and questions on this are appreciated and welcome. This has been Bobby Zones. Thank you very much.